beautiful punt. This will drop and take a Bobcat bounce just past midfield. Cardinals with beautiful starting position for their opening drive of the third quarter.
Yeah, I mean, even off of that solid punt, they still pinned them far enough back to where that only got the ball to around the 50, and now Davison's in some nice position here, scored off it on their last couple drives.
Cardinals in their final 2 drives of the first half. Both times they found the end zone. Both times it was 6 for Brendan Sullivan, who wears 6. The 1-yard touchdown quarterback keeper up the middle, and then the 4th and 4 conversion. He'll trot back out a yard deep in their own territory at the Cardinal 49, 1st and 10. Jalen Murray Flowers, the outside man on the near sideline, and it's Deion Brown stacked right up next to him. Carter Kreiderman begins in the backfield next to Sullivan. He'll give it across midfield into Bobcat territory, and the senior stays on his feet, plowing past the 40-yard line. One play and a fresh set for the Cardinals here in the third quarter.
I mean, like I said earlier, it's just unbelievable how persistent he is on getting every last yard he can. I mean, right there, it looked like he was about to be brought down only 5 yards into that run, but he fights and brings it all the way across the first down marker.
Bobcats got all the pressure they needed in the first quarter on the run game, but since then, the Cardinals have been adamant, pounding the football up the middle. Kreiderman again, he's in trouble, met right at the line of scrimmage, and the Bobcats home for that one. Second down coming up. In the first quarter, or I should say in the first half, Mason, really was a mix of passing the football for the Cards when they needed to, but it was probably 70-30 in terms of rushing and passing game for the Cardinal offense.
Yeah, I mean, last time they played Grand Blanc, we saw they loved that run game, loved forcing it down, and I mean, it took them a little longer to get the run game going tonight. And Grand Blanc seemed pretty ready for it, but slowly and surely they've been tacking away at it throughout this game. And you're seeing these big runs here and there. It's starting to work.
Watch for Jalen Murray Flowers here on the near sideline as it's Warren in motion. He has got it from Sullivan up the middle, makes a man miss across the 20, bouncing into the secondary, lowers the shoulder past the 20. And the transfer from Grand Blanc puts the Cardinals into the red zone, threatening on their first drive of the second half.
It's crazy how light he is on his feet, able to take a stab in, take a stab out, just keep on moving, keep on trucking along and moving the ball forward.
We've got a down Cardinal at the 20. And trying to see who this is as the Cards and the Bobcats being sent to their sidelines, as it was Tavian Warren that got the give from Sullivan and got the first down, got it to the 19-yard line. Clock is stopped at 9:39 for an injury timeout, a down Cardinal on the near 20-yard line. So Davison going right back to, Mason, what we saw there in the first half, and it's just a persistence running the football and then maybe even just setting it up for something over top.
Yeah, I mean, they've been pounding that run game. You wonder if they might sail something over, see if they can make up some ground from it.
That's CJ, the senior that's slow to get up. And Mason, there you see the graphic on the evening that the senior Carter Kreiderman had in the first matchup between these two in Grand Blanc, and really just was the difference on the ground for the Cards the first time round.
Yeah, I mean, just career game from him there. 5 touchdowns, 205 yards, ridiculous amount of in the stats category there.
In that ball game too, I mean, that's for sure going to top your stat sheet. But Tavian Warren in his return to Grand Blanc, 11 carries for over 100 yards and a touchdown. Do that quick math, was averaging just about 10 yards a go. And so that really helped take some of the stress and the pressure off of Kreiderman running the football. And that's what makes the Cardinals offensively so tough, is you have so many different jersey numbers that can run the rock for you.
Yeah, you just got plenty of options. You can pretty much do whatever you're feeling and whatever. You can just pick up on what the defense isn't doing good against, and so you can just adjust to that.
Sullivan alone in the pocket, and it's the sophomore Jalen Flowers in motion. Quarterback keeper. Sullivan across the 20, 15, 10, 5, touchdown! 20-yard touchdown scamper for the senior. And the Cardinals strike first in the second half, and they extend it now to 2 scores.
Sullivan's just having a day tonight. 3rd touchdown on the night, all on the ground. Just having a great overall game. Able to bounce outside, get that touchdown in just on the near sideline.
3 touchdowns for the senior quarterback, all coming on the ground. That one, the biggest play of the ball game so far. A little quarterback keeper, and he had the presence of mind to bounce it to the outside, picked up a huge block to get him into the end zone as Hopkins set to boot. And of course, we've got movement. It seems like we've hardly ever had a clean extra point tonight.
Yeah, I mean, flag here, jumpy player there.
See what we've got as 2 flags came in. This is the 3rd extra point false start on the Cards. Move Hopkins back 5 and see if he can drill it. As Sturgill is setting up at the 15. Ball still inside the 10 after a 5-yard penalty. High snap. Sturgill snatched it down, and that one's up and good. 9:17 to play in the 3rd quarter, and that score now moving to 20-6. Cardinals on top of the Bobcats, and what a way to start out half number 2, Mason, as you take another look at this touchdown run. Big block on the outside edge, too, and that's what really cemented this play.
Home, and then Annette Steffens watching from home, and she says her current mood is recliner plus I believe in these Cardinals.
That's right. Cardinals and Bobcats meeting on the district final stage for the first time ever. Little low kick from Hopkins that takes a high spike past the 30, loose football on the ground, picked up by Underwood, and he's going to fight forward past the 25 on a minimal return. I like that for Hopkins, just keep it on the ground and let your kick team get there. We've seen some pretty decent returns by the deep men for the Bobcats in Jackson and Molesky. So keep it on the ground and let your guys get there. Bobcats will start just past the 25-yard line, 1st and 10. Mason looking for a different result, as it was a quick 3 and out after 2 incompletions. And then Brodebek got sacked deep on 3rd down.
Yeah, I mean, defense just came out with the burners on and ready to do anything they can to stop that ball from moving. They did just that on that 3 and out.
2 options on the near sideline. Brodebek will throw it. Stepping up, over top, tipped, and dropped. Looking for Molesky, and the junior tried to weave that one in a tight spot. And fortunate that that bounced to the grass.
Yeah, Molesky just not looking back for that pass there, as Brodebek kind of sent up a prayer there. Lucky that those Davison defenders weren't quick enough to get to that deflected pass off his back. Otherwise, that could have been another offensive possession here for the Grand Blanc offense.
2nd and 10, and that was Clark Hamilton that tried to get a quick jump, and he was, I mean, fractions of a second away from having a perfect jump on that. Wow, they're going to say a false start. Wow, I thought that Clark Hamilton got there quick. Mason, what happened was the senior with his pressure, I mean, he timed that perfectly, that he must have made someone flinch up front before the snap of the football.
Yeah, I mean, those nerves still kind of setting in. I mean, you're down 14 points right now, and the pressure's all on you to come back against these state champs.
So 2nd and 10 turns into 2nd and 15 as Brodebek's assignment gets that much deeper. Drops back, looking on the near sideline. He's got Molesky by a step, just overthrew him.
You wonder after one of these attempts when he's finally going to connect, and it's going to spell doom for this Davison defense.
Well, that was as close as he's been tonight. That is a sophomore guarding a senior. Murray Flowers for the Cards out wide. Trying to guard Jonah Molesky, 5'10", 183 senior. And he had the step, Brodebek, but with this pressure, very tough, as we've seen tonight, to try to drop a seed in a bucket. Third down and 15 yards to go for the Bobcats. They've got 3 out to the left of Brodebeck, 1 on the near sideline. Junior rolling deep to the right side, thrown, dropped. Late flag flies at the 10, 12-yard line, and this might deny a 4th down as Brodebeck was sent to the ground. Molesky had it and dropped it. He would not have had the 1st down. He would have been just shy, but it would have been a 4th and very manageable.
Yeah, bobbled the Cats there.
Let's see what this
no man's land, but
penalty is it's likely going to be against the Cardinal defense. Jake Weingart's not happy.
Yeah, I don't think any of these Davison fans are happy either about that. You had Grand Blanc pinned in another situation where they can't.
This will be a 4th down. This is going to be a 4th down. Oh boy. That's just a bad spot by the officials. They moved the chains. It was 4th and 15 and a 15-yarder. So you thought it would have maybe just been a measure. But that ball was definitely shy the line to gain, but the officials must have had their minds made up. It's a 1st and 10. Less than 9 minutes to play in the 3rd quarter. Brodebeck slings it quickly out to his right, drop. How many times have we seen Grand Blanc try that, and they have yet to have a completion on that play?
Yeah, I mean, they're casting the defense off guard, but they just can't connect on these passes. I mean, it's so quick, you wonder if they just need to maybe not execute as quickly, maybe just like keep everything cleaned up there.
They've tried Jackson. That right there was Julian Freeman.
Just can't quite connect on those short passes out wide.
2nd and 10. Pressure. Thrown over top. Hit hard by Clark Hamilton, but the catch was made. An incredible catch. You really got to tip your hat for Cam Carpenter, able to haul that in. That's a sophomore with a senior Clark Hamilton closing in, but a 3rd down coming up, Mason.
Not only haul it in, but just hang on to the ball after that massive hit there by Hamilton. Just definitely let him know what Davison's all about on that one.
3rd down and 5 from the Bobcat 41. See what the Cards do up front. Threatening pressure, thrown, tipped. Will Watkins got a hand up. 4th down coming up.
This defensive line has just been so aware, so alert of these passes, really able to do a lot in the pass breakups here.
Cardinals up front have been the difference on Brodebeck. He's had passes to be made, but the Cardinals with their presence, as you mentioned, Mason, just so aware. How many times, I think now the 3rd time tonight, we've seen Brodebeck try to throw it to that far sideline, and it's been batted up front.
Yeah, I mean, it's a great heads-up play by the defense there.
But now you got to be clean. On a 4th and 5, a penalty will give Grand Blanc a 1st down. Good snap, ball's away. End-over-end kick that's going to bounce at the 30 and take a Bobcat roll deep to the Cardinal right at the 20. And the Davison offense going to see if they can continue what's been a heck of a momentous turn in this ball game. They ended the 1st half with back-to-back touchdowns. They started the 3rd quarter with another, and looking to see if they can make it more. 8:03 to play in the 3rd. 1st and 10 at the Cardinal 20.
Yeah, I mean, they're just doing what we've seen them do all year, which is just come out and just play explosive football, play fast football, and just use that momentum in their favor.
We've seen this earlier in the night. Take another look at it. These are 2 very talented quarterbacks, the best in the SVL. That's blue or red. Ty Brodebeck, the junior, really racked up the yards this season. Not far behind was Sullivan. The numbers aren't there for Sullivan in terms of the attempts or the yardages or the touchdowns for that matter, but the same thing that we said earlier in the night. Biggest thing is that the Cardinal run game has dominated almost every single game they've been in. Sullivan keeps it himself across the 25, fighting for the 30, still on his feet. Getting to the 30-yard line, and that play was pretty much over.
Yeah, I mean, he's running parallel with that 30-yard line for about 5 or 6 steps. You wonder when they're going to call forward progress. Like, yeah, he's moving, but he's definitely not moving down the field at that point.
He got it, though. They're going to say that Sullivan got the line to gain, and the chains are moving. And so that will give the Cardinals a fresh set. Mason, really just the biggest thing you have to think for the Cards on this drive. No reason to be in any type of rush throwing deep. I mean, take your time and use that clock and keep doing what you've done all night and run that football.
Yeah, I mean, you got this lead. You just want to keep building on that, and you want to do it carefully.
Sullivan keeps it again. Waiting with the pressure. Takes it all the way to the other sideline when a flag flies inside the 35. Looked like everybody was really just running with the football, but let's see what the penalty marker was.
Quick little shout out real quick. We got another person watching from the recliner, Oliver Moran, in the comfort of his apartment. Says, thanks for great coverage, GTV. Thanks for watching tonight.
Thanks for watching Cardinal football on a Friday night, second week in November. We heard breaking today as the Cards going to move backwards. That 11-man state championship will be played again at Ford Field. That news was announced earlier today by the MHSAA that they were able to strike a deal. We're going to have state championship football across the state of Michigan in Detroit, in the Motor City. That's where everybody's season will come to an end, those that are fortunate enough to make it there. Cards go backwards. It's after that one, 1st and 16. 7:31 to play here in the third quarter, and Sullivan will throw it over top, caught by Brown. Was in the danger zone there if he could make one man miss. Tackled just shy of the 35, and a nice chunk. Second down coming up.
Yeah, I mean, obviously Dion wanted a little more out of that. He had a ton of space in front of him. We've seen him in that situation before, but this Davison defense just comes up on his rear end and just comes fast and hits hard.
No, there, he's hurt.
Almost an entirely different passing attack for the Cards this season, where it was a lot of throws that are 5 yards or more last year in 2019. You're looking at 5, 10-yard throws on average. This year, almost everything coming within 10, 5 yards. Just get it to your receivers and let them run it. Give up the middle. Warren bouncing across midfield. Deep in the secondary, needs a block. He's got it. Warren, house call. No flags on the play, and the former Bobcat takes it all the way to the house. 66-yard touchdown run.
Yeah, and you got that key block there by Jackson Rice, too, just able to come up clutch. Give Warren that extra amount of space he needed to run it into the end zone. 66-yard touchdown there. Davison's run game just lighting it up at Cardinal Stadium tonight.
That's the big run play that the Cardinals were waiting for offensively. How many times they had a hole, but the Bobcats able to get there and make tackles to deny it. You were waiting for a big play to bust, and Warren right there puts the exclamation mark on this game so far. A 20-yard touchdown run for Sullivan the last drive. A 66-yarder for Warren on that one. And the Cardinals continue to stretch that lead. 6:35 to play in the third quarter. Mason, 27 unanswered points by the Cardinal offense.
Yeah, I mean, Grand Blanc certainly did start strong. We saw a lot of good play from them in the first on both sides of the ball, but since then they really just haven't had the momentum in their favor as we have another look at that touchdown.
This was made by a block. I mean, up the middle, you got what you needed, but the speed from Warren right there, and then a block, as you mentioned, that took a little bit of a pinball effect, and a 66-yard house call for the senior in the maroon and gold.
Pizzala on that block by mistake, but still just a great play on the offensive end of the ball for Cards, and it's all been on the ground this game for the most part.
That's hustled downfield, too, by Pizzala that is able to give you that touchdown and make it, instead of a big run, a 66-yard touchdown run. What a turn this game has taken. Bobcats found the scoreboard first. Sullivan was picked off. It was 6-0 Grand Blanc inside Cardinal territory. When penalties stifled that drive for GB, a punt gave it back to the Cards, and they never looked back.
Yeah, and I mean, like we've been saying all year, the Cards just keep building on that momentum and take it, and they just run with it.
Same kick that we saw from Gabe. Grand Blanc didn't let that run out of bounds, and again a flag flies on a kick return. This time it comes way back from the 5, and it lands right at the 20. I thought that kick from Hopkins was certain to go out of bounds.
Yeah, looked about like it.
But Molesky fielded it. Let's see what the officiating crew comes away with. They said it was on the
Grand
Blanc return team. Yeah, still got I mean, he got 27 unanswered points, but a lot of ball game left to be played with 6.5 left. This is a potent offense that could strike quick.
Yeah, I mean, only halfway through our third quarter, and Davison's really just expanded on this lead exponentially.
Brodebek's been so close how many different times. Now's the time you got to take a shot. You trail it by 21. Fake little give, thrown over top, tipped and incomplete as Warren tried to undercut it. It sailed over his hands. If Jackson hauls that in, there's no one in front of him.
Yeah, Warren's had a great game tonight on both sides of the ball. I mean, obviously just had that big play for the Cards on that last drive, but he's just been really solid in the secondary at defensive back for the Cards too.
Kobe Sellers coming back in for the Cards as they look for a quicker front on defense. Two-way split out to the top sideline, two stacked on the near sideline. Brodebek rolling to his left. The junior throws, caught past the 25, and that was Jackson that is able to get a fresh set. That's the athlete that the Bobcats have just been trying to get going tonight. But for whatever reason, it's just been tough sledding uphill for this Bobcat offense. Well, I can tell you the reason. It's this Davison defense, the pressure they've been given. But a lot of those have just been drop passes.
Yeah, I mean, you do have the best defense in the SVL going up against one of the best offenses, but one of the best offenses, Grand Blanc, is making these mistakes, all these drop passes. It's hard to make any progress.
3 on the strong side of the field for Brodebek. He'll take it and look over top. Far sideline, up in the air, incomplete. Oh, and a flag flies. That ball sailed over the head of Jalen Johnson by about 5 yards, and another flag gonna come in. Gotta be cleaner.
Yeah. Second flag flies from that ref.
So 2 flags on this play, likely defensive pass interference and then unsportsmanlike conduct.
Fans and players alike not happy about that one.
Let's just see where the ball's at when the dust settles here. Cardinals did move back, but now they're moving up. Papadakis coming on for Flowers. Both those flags inside the 45-yard line. That's really right where everything took place. Yeah, you got to take a chance offensively for Grand Blanc, and that's what they do there. So the officials trying to get this sorted out.
Yeah, just waiting for things to get set back up here.
Clock is stopped at 6:01. Cardinals 2 for 2 in their drives in the second half. Bobcats started with it and a quick 3-and-out that took no more than 15 seconds. 2 incompletions. So the official walked 30 paces total there. And it's a matter of inches forward. So reduce 1st and 10. Little pitch as Jackson looked to throw it, but he's tripped up at the 30-yard line, and who else but Harry Unger to make the play. 2nd down coming up. You see that little drawback for Jackson. Looked like he had intention to let it fly.
And that awareness by Unger is just unreal. Seen that plenty of times tonight, making those tackles, just reaching back just in time to bring the defender down.
So Brodebek now alone in the pocket. He's got 2 on the near sideline, 2 way out over top. Scrambling, looking, thrown, tipped, almost picked. That was right out of the hands of Landon Kish.
Yeah, I mean, an interception would have been great there, but I mean, you got to be happy with the pass breakup nonetheless, forcing a 3rd down situation now. Here for Grand Blanc, possibly forcing him to take another big bite like they did just there on that pass.
Looked like it was right at Kish, but it might have been just out of his reach. But yeah, good to bat it down and force a 3rd and 10. Brodebek again alone in the backfield. Cards send 3 in pressure. Brodebek steps up, gonna let this one fly, and it's overthrown and complete. And good job by Murray Flowers over top to just really sell the fact of no contact. And a 4th down and 10. Bobcats will change formations here with 5:18 to play in the 3rd.
Yeah, and if you're Brodebek, you got to be happy you just were able to get that pass off. I mean, pocket started collapsing, had to do something. Almost worked out for them, but again, just overthrown a little bit.
Yeah, the junior might have had an option there, as he's had all night, but the Cards close just enough to make it a difficult throw. But this is a junior quarterback that Bobcat fans are looking forward to next season to be calling the shots on offense. Punts away, end over end kick, gonna be fielded inside the 45. Nice little return. This is Warren across the 40. Flag flies inside the 30, wants to stay on his feet, and Warren's gonna be hit inside the 30. Let's see where things go after the 2 penalty markers get sorted out. Good return, but let's see if it was legal.
Yeah, I mean, if those don't call it back, very solid return, but it looks like it just might. Quick little shout out here from Destiny Kuhn and his Davison 2017 alumni enjoying the game and cheering the team on from her couch with her dogs by her side.
Here's our calls from the officials. That's going to be on the Cards. Yeah, keep sending us tweets or letting us know where you're watching tonight's game from. At DTV_official on Twitter or on Facebook at DTV, where you're watching Cardinal District Championship football, figuring out who's the best in the 8-1-0 tonight.
I mean, Davison's really making a good case for themselves here. Going up 27 unanswered points now since that second quarter.
And a 3-touchdown lead. Even after the penalty, Cards will have it in Bobcat territory. Love what you've seen from the Davison defense tonight. After Grand Blanc scored first, they've been blanked since on offense. They've made their stops. You allow this offense to take the field and do their thing. Kreiderman bounces to the outside, a lot of room to work with. Cuts it up past the 30-yard line and finally dragged down. One play and a Cardinal fresh set, thanks to the senior who's been hot all night, hot all year.
I mean, yeah, this run game has just been amazing tonight. I mean, you see Sully carrying the weight on those touchdowns, but you got Warren and you got Kreiderman moving the ball up the field a lot of the time, and they're doing a perfect job at it right now.
Inside 5 minutes to play in quarter number 3. 3 options to the strong side for Sullivan, the senior, and it's Kreiderman in the backfield. He'll give it again. Kreiderman finds a hole, hits it hard, up the middle, bouncing and finally tackled inside the 15. Again, Mason, one play and a fresh set of downs for the Cardinals as Kreiderman continues to work those legs. He's earned a break, and he'll head off.
Yeah, I mean, just absolutely marching down the field right now. Grand Blanc still has yet to answer against this effort being put together here.
Sullivan's, he did have all 3 touchdowns before Warren had a 66-yard house call. And now it's Murray Flowers that's going to join Sullivan in the backfield, the sophomore with the senior. 3 options to the right. Give up the middle. Flowers bounces to the outside, snips the corner, into the end zone for the Cardinal touchdown. Officials waving their hands as this is going to come back.
Didn't see any flags fly, but...
Didn't either. I'm looking for one, and oh, it's right behind the chain at the 8-yard line. Couldn't see it, but great play for Jalen Flowers. Unfortunately, going to be negated by the penalty.
Yeah,
Cardinals have made it now 4 touchdowns rather in a row, and a chance to make it 5 on this drive. Go ahead, Mason.
I mean, he picks up that speed so well when he's coming out to the outside. All these running backs, really, and Sullivan too, all just have great sets of wheels on them, able to move down the field so fast.
So a 5-yard penalty makes it first down and 15 for the Cards inside the Bobcat 20. 3 options out to the right again. Sullivan will give it. Flowers, nice footwork up the middle as he had pressure, stays on his feet. 5, touchdown! Unbelievable! Pressure came hard from the outside, and Flowers somehow stayed up and is able to find the end zone just 1 play later after doing the same thing.
Looking like deja vu right now, able to bounce outside that exact same side and run it in for another 6. Huge play from the sophomore.
No one taking that touchdown away from Flowers this time. He got lost in the wash up the middle, and then all you saw was a body bounce outside, and it was the sophomore.
Yeah, just popped right out of the pylon. Ran it in by the pylon.
High snap for Hopkins, but a great kick. Up and good. It was 13-6 at half, but now the Cardinals have made it 21 straight in the second half, but another penalty marker on an extra point. This is at the 9-yard line, and I don't think this is going to affect the kick. Let's take another look, Mason. I don't know where Murray Flowers went, but just stayed on his feet somehow and was able to bounce outside and carry that pile across the corner.
Can't imagine what it was like in there for him, but I mean, obviously he found a way.
Look at the first ones there, too, and Milenich and Sullivan running right down the field with their sophomore to congratulate him. One play and a touchdown was called back by a flag. They moved the Cards back 5 and didn't take anything more but one play for Flowers to do the same thing. And it's been a party in Cardinal Stadium since the start of the second half.
Yeah, I mean, everyone's just feeling better about this game. Now it started, everyone a little bit on edge after Grand Blanc came out looking really ready to play, but since that first quarter, it's pretty much been all Davison.
Yeah, you really have to, I mean, it's, in any game, it's got to be 4 quarters of play. And the Cards, with immediate adversity, they allow the Bobcats to score first, and then Sullivan's interception. Keep your head on your shoulders and keep playing. That's exactly what they did. That's what happens, too, I mean, in a situation where you've got coaches that have been deep in that bracket. You've got players from last year that have been deep in that bracket. When you just continue to feed young guys through that system, I just feel like you constantly have experience washed in your program.
Absolutely, it's just going to keep running through, and they're just really starting to build almost a dynasty here in Cardinal Country.
Great kick from Gabe Hopkins, and it bounces into the end zone. Last couple kicks we've seen from him have been carpet burners across the 30 and 20. That one, a touchback. 4:02 left to play in the third, and the Bobcat offense is going to have to retake the field and try to see if they can just get something figured out here. I mean, really looked like on their opening drive they marched right down the field, but punted on the opening drive of the ball game. But after an interception defensively, it set them up in great fielding position. They were able to find the end zone, but since then it's just been tough sledding. Hard to get anything going when you've got that Davison defense constantly putting pressure on you. And then offensively, the Cards just consistently finding the end zone. Brodebek took a shot as he let that ball fly, way overthrown.
That was definitely risky, thrown into as congested a coverage as it was over there.
That's Will Watkins limping away from the pile. He's the one that came in to put a lick on Brodebek, and he comes away limping off the pile. Must have been a weird landing, as Brodebek's the one that bounced away from that, what looks like relatively unscathed, ready to rock, and it's Watkins on the sideline. They'll just shake that one off.
Yeah, I mean, you're happy to at least see him on his feet still, for sure.
2nd down and 10 for the Bobcats. Brodebek stepping up, lets it fly, and it's caught, but there's a penalty marker at the 15, and that's Unger that walks away clapping his hands, as this might be a holding. It is.
Yeah, I got held back trying to dive forward for the sack. Defender yanked him right back.
You could see that visibly Brodebek knew he was running out of time and tried to make something happen. Catch was made, but it was right at the line of scrimmage. But a hold away as Unger was trying to get to the pocket and get to the junior quarterback, so move the Bobcats back.
Yeah, and probably about as deep as in their own territory as we've seen them tonight.
Less than 4 minutes to play in this third quarter between these two.
Still late in the start of this.
Yep, we're going to redo 2nd down. Look at the matchup on the near sideline. Brodebeck looking, gonna throw over top, tipped, picked. Little return. Pick 6, and it's Warren who walks it in for the Cardinal touchdown.
Great awareness there in the backfield. Able to run it up through the middle. Jukes the defender at the end with the stare down. Let him know that he just put another touchdown on the board for the Davison Cardinals.
And what is good gets better for the Cards in the second half. It has been all Davison, as Brodebeck has constantly been trying to throw to that left side over the middle of the field. And it's just really tough. A lot of these have been tipped and dropped by his Bobcat receivers.
Yeah, and I mean, Warren just able to get to that one there. Run it in for a huge touchdown, just expanding on this huge lead the Cards already have.
Little loose snap, but the kick is up and good for Gabe Hopkins, as Bobcat fans starting to filter to the exits, as this one ran away downhill in the third quarter.
41 unanswered points Cardinals have put up here.
And it's been 28 in this quarter alone, as this one you can just see it drop right in the lap of Warren after the tip drill. Great block, great presence of mind, and the block from Unger. Whoops, and a house call. Look at Weingart's got all his guys in the middle at the 45 with 3:35 to play. You got to finish this game clean, because you got to think that, and you've still got football left to play in this season. It's really easy to enjoy these home games while you can.
Yeah, I mean, just been great showing by the Cardinals last couple quarters, and they aren't showing any signs of slowing down.
.28 unanswered here in this third quarter, and that's just been the difference between these two.
Got George Braniff, says great game he's watching. Graduate of Carmen High School, but he lives in Davison.
This is a little grounder across the 30 by the 25. This is Underwood across the 30, and a flag flies again. This time it's on the near sideline.
Yeah, we saw a couple players getting tangled up right where that flag flew. I wonder if that had anything to do with it.
We've just seen penalties on both ends of the football really all night.
It's going to be a personal foul on Davison. Move the Bobcats up a bit. And that's one thing that Davison's got to think of in the event they move on to the next round. Just got to clean up those penalties.
Cardinal defense back out on the field after the penalty. And the Bobcats in what feels like and what likely is their best starting position in the second half, and the best starting position since after the Sullivan interception.
Got another quick shout out. Joe says he's a 96 football alum, and he's watching with class of 93 and 94.
Love it.
Classmates from St. John's, Florida.
And so they know this rivalry well. Whoops. Brodebeck will give it. Underwood up the middle, a lot of room. Cuts back, fights for the 35, and one play gives the Bobcats a first down. That's the senior Brodebeck running to the line. I've been saying junior. Apologize for that one. This is a senior that tries to get his Bobcats back to the line. You know what's at stake here in a playoff game. But what it looks like here in the third quarter, as the Cards have run away with 28 unanswered. And a defensive touchdown. Underwood now running with it. Tripped up. And that is Unger. That's swiped at the legs of Underwood. But the Cards going to continue what's been an unscathed streak since 2011. Last time Bobcats won, if you saw the beginning of the broadcast, that was that clip when the Bobcats ended the Cards season, week 9, 47-31 win. Here's Underwood, bounces it outside, and he's going to cruise into the end zone for a Bobcat touchdown. The first touchdown for Grand Blanc since that second drive for them of the night. The first touchdown of the second half comes with 2:22 left to play in the third quarter.
Yeah, I mean, gives you something to be positive about here from this quarter. Bouncing out the side, getting that touchdown after breaking a couple tackles.
Well, the Cardinals were so in tune for the pass defense that you give it to Underwood, had a lot of room to work with, and a couple of impressive runs.
Quarterback's still out there signaling.
Yeah,
Puts the Bobcats in. Sorry, Mason.
Yeah,
Grand Blanc looking like they're going to try to convert for 2 as they're missing 1. So here's the conversion. Brodebek calls a man in motion. There's the give to Jackson. Stretching and just shy of the pylon. 2-point conversion is no good. Guards do a great job pulling the chain to the near sideline and denying the Bobcats of converting. 2:22 left to play in the third quarter and a 41-12 lead.
Yeah, got to give him credit for going for 2 there, trying to close in on that gap.
There was Underwood that was spun around and just stayed up. That was Unger that actually got to the Bobcat ball carrier, but just better running by Dennis Underwood. 5'9", 200-pound senior. That is a tough frame to try to bring down.
Yeah, I mean, able to just blow by the defenders relatively unscathed.
So the Bobcats will boot it away to the Cards. The Davison offense going to come right back out onto the field. You love the last touchdown for the Cards, a defensive touchdown. No one loves that more than the senior quarterback, Brendan Sullivan, when the opposite side of the football can come up with a touchdown for you. You don't even have to take a snap.
Absolutely.
Great kick. This will be fielded inside the 10. And a return on, flag flies. It's almost routine at this point. Markers down at the 32-yard line. This one came from the official back near midfield. And let's see what we walk away with, as there is a down Cardinal. It's Murray Flowers, but he hops up and is not putting pressure on the right leg.
That's not what you want to see.
Nope.
Must have got tangled up in that pile somehow.
And so the sophomore hits the deck as there is a penalty marker at the 32. There we get the call from the official that says it's a block in the back.
His second injury for the Cards tonight. You saw CJ Brady go out earlier.
So the clock stopped at 2:15 with both teams over huddled up. And it's no secret, it's no difference, Mason, here. Cardinals, the ground games worked for them all night. You look to do the same and just eat at that clock, get you to the fourth quarter.
Yeah, I mean, just been a ground assault for them, really. Just moving that ball so effectively down the field.
And Murray Flowers trying to hop up. He's going to need some assistance to come off the field. No pressure on that right leg. This is not what you'd like to see.
Yeah, I mean, especially out of what's seeming to be a budding star in the running game, Jalen Flowers here.
This is going to be your last game here this year, boys.
Yeah, this is it. This is it.
So, to be announced, right? Where the next game?
So the Cardinal offense going to trot out with 2:15 left to be played in this third quarter. And this drive, you like to think, can get you to quarter number 4. As Murray Flowers getting stretched out down on the sideline. Here's 1st and 10 from the Cardinal 12 after the block in the back penalty. No problem for Carter Kreiderman as he surges past the 25. A 13-yard run is going to set the Cardinals up with a fresh set, 1st and 10.
The run game did have a slow start in the first quarter, but ever since then, it's just like first down here, first down there, touchdown here, touchdown there on these runs here.
And it can be expected, a district championship game, a lot of emotion, a little bit of a chess match to start a ball game like this. Both teams kind of feeling each other out, and it was 6-0 at the end of the first quarter. Kreiderman stays on his feet, stretching to the far sideline, lowers the shoulder, and again bowls past the line to gain. This is going to be just shy, as they're going to mark him at the 35-yard line. He's, I believe, going to be tripped up and forced out of bounds a yard shy the line to gain, depending on where they mark it. But yeah, 13 unanswered points for the Cards that went into the second quarter and sent us into the locker room, and just a 1-touchdown lead. But you felt like the momentum was turning, and then for the Cards, it just continued in the third. 28 unanswered before the Bobcats' recent touchdown. Sullivan with 3 options to his left, and the senior Kreiderman in the backfield will take it again up the middle. That's Warren, actually. And Warren is good for the first down. He got there, but was pushed backwards after. Chains will move, though, and give the Cards a fresh set. And that's been a guy that's been just as big for Davison Mason, when the final stats we'll be able to look at and have, you know, more of a fuller look. But it's just been Kreiderman and Warren tonight. And Tavian Warren's done it all. I mean, a defensive pick 6 for him, a 66-yard touchdown run in a game, a district championship against his former school you call home, against the Bobcats.
Yeah, I mean, definitely a game you're going to look back with a smile on your face just with your performance.
You hear timeout from Weingarts down on the sideline. On 1st and 10 with 1:11 to play. Not happy with what he saw on the field and wants to get his offense on the same page with 1:11 left to be played here in the third quarter.
Quick shout-outs here. Josh Squires watching from Atlantic Beach in North Carolina. And then Allison Scully, a Davison alum, class of 2005, watching from Green Valley, Missouri. So really just got alum all over the country right now.
Cardinals looking for the winner of Catholic Central and Lakeland, as they're going to be taking on the winner of that game next week. And we're going to talk about it more before the start of the fourth quarter as to where the location of the game is going to be next week. Cardinals with a win, they would be the home team, but it would not be taking place here at Cardinal Stadium as it would. Digging will begin on a new turf field before the start of the 2021 season. And so would be the home team, but trying to find a location to play the game. First and 10, a little give up the middle. This is Warren through the secondary, tripped up and stopped right around the 25-yard line. And just what continues to be a career night for the senior Tavian Warren.
Yeah, and credit to the defense there for being able to catch up and keep up with them after he broke away like that. We've seen it again and again. They're playing catch up on those breakaways, but great gain from Warren here.
Trying to find an update on the DCC and Lakeland game. Kersley over Linden, 36-21 in the fourth quarter. Hornets looking to go the deepest they ever have in school history. A couple Davison guys on that staff, as well as Kreiderman, still on his feet inside the 15. 30 seconds left.
Able to get a first down off of that one.
You'll get a stop clock as well. Caleb Ford, the head man over at Kersley, used to be a Cardinal. Pat Ryan over there with him, used to be a Cardinal.
Clock's running down now.
Big contest between Granville and Rockford in the D1 bracket as well. 14 all headed to overtime is the last update on those ones. And that's at the very top of the district final bracket on the Cardinals side. Sullivan will give it on 1st and 10. Kreiderman spun down for the final play of the third quarter. What a third quarter it was. 28 straight points for the Cards out of the locker room. Bobcats did get on the scoreboard to end the onslaught, but the Cardinals pulled away big time in quarter number 3. We head to quarter number 4, a 41-12 score with a fresh 12 minutes up on the clock. Before we do that, though, gonna send it down to Jill to talk more about the neutral fielding playing location next week, if that's our scenario. Jill?
If Davison wins tonight, they will not be playing here next week. Instead, they will be playing on a neutral field because construction will begin for Davison's new turf, thanks to the bond. This time last year, we had to play on a neutral turf because there were 8 inches of snow on the ground. Take a look at last year's team after their win against Utica Eisenhower at Brandon High School, celebrating with snow angels. Is it cool tonight? Well, I'm freezing, but at least we're not swimming in the snow. I'll toss it back to the announcers.
That is a total of 94 years of service for these gentlemen on the Davison Cardinal chain gang. Let's give a great big Cardinal crowd shout out to our dedicated chain gang here of Davison.
I need you guys to talk.
Davison's name.
Yes, I need you guys to talk. What?
Why do you need us to talk?
Because that. You guys are.
Back here now.
So we're back for the fourth quarter. Fresh 12 minutes up on the clock. And the Cardinal offense continuing to go down the field. 2nd down and 12 is what we are looking at. We've been looking for score updates of the Catholic Central game, and we couldn't find any. That's because they play tomorrow at 1. So we've been looking for score updates that don't exist yet. Here's 2nd and 12. Carter Kreiderman to the outside of the 10, and he's brought down. And it's going to be a 3rd down and short. Yeah, that's going to make looking for those score updates really difficult when the game hasn't kicked yet.
Yeah, I mean, when time travel hasn't come around yet, it's going to be hard to look at that.
Will be fun, though, for you'd like to think the Cards to be able to watch that one. You'd have to think be watching that one if there's a stream available. Excuse me. And that will be Catholic Central and Lakeland, both a pair of 6-0 teams in the regular season.
Yeah,
Davison, Davison has never faced off against CC or Lakeland, so that would be a inaugural matchup against either opponent if that's who they draw there with a win. High snap, Sullivan takes it and tries to make a broken play into something. He's going to run out of bounds, shy the line to gain. There's a penalty marker down. Might have been a quick snap with the play clock winding down. Nope, so penalty marker will go against the Cards. It'll move them back and likely redo 3rd down as the clock is stopped at 11 minutes. Touchdown will move it into a moving clock.
Yeah, game's really slowed down since around like the 2nd half of the 3rd quarter, either because of the first downs or the going out of bounds or flags. Just to mix all those things, just putting a stop on the clock.
This is tough for GB because a lot of these guys, seniors, that are your playmakers. Elijah Jackson is a junior. That's a guy that can be coming back for you next year. Sullivan rolling out to his right. Long rollout, thrown, caught, shy of the goal line, I do believe, but the catch was made right around the 2 to 3 yard line. What a throw and a better catch by, I believe, Jalen Murray Flowers if he turns. Yeah, great catch by a guy that has made some big time catches.
Pass complete to Cardinal.
Yeah, connect on the pass pretty well, able to make that grab with the pressure on you. Great play, and might just set them up for another touchdown here.
First and goal.
Just put an exclamation point really on this win. That looks like it's shaping out to be.
So Sullivan over center, 1st and goal from the 2. Bobbled the snap, tries to walk forward, but he's going to be tugged backwards as that did not go the way the Cards had designed it. It's going to send them in the opposite direction and make this a little bit trickier 2nd down and goal situation inside the 5. Not the way you want to go.
Yeah, another issue in the snap. The first one, not the first one, Yeah, the first one was high, and now that one bobbled there.
You got Jalen Flowers, the sophomore, who we saw helped off with no pressure on his right leg earlier in this half. He's now up and standing and right next to Weingart's down on the sideline. So you'd love to see him come back in. If not, he is at least up and on 2 feet.
Yeah, good to see him happy and good spirits and feeling good.
2nd and 3. Kreiderman untouched. Touchdown Cardinals to start out the 4th quarter. About 2 minutes gone by and give another one to Kreiderman. And it's been all ground game tonight for the Cards.
Yeah, I mean, just punching another one in. Just like we've seen all night. Really just moving the ball so effectively on the ground.
And gee, the Cardinal fans, still crazy to think that the tickets that were available, any tickets that were available, were gone in less than 5 minutes.
I think what's even crazier is that it was snowing 9 inches this time last year, like Joe
That's
talked
right.
about.
Yep. That was 1 year ago tonight.
Yeah, thank goodness for the sake of our players, our fans, and our crew that aren't covered in snow like they were.
Yeah, kick is up and good, and the Cardinals extend their lead. That was a year ago tonight when the Cards, they're in a similar situation where they're going to be next week, and that's what Jill had said as we take another look at the touchdown for the Cards. But it was a similar situation as Kreiderman were able to walk in there. But last year, a year ago tonight, a regional final, Cards hoisted the trophy over Ike, Utica Eisenhower, 35-7 final. But yes, the Cardinal athletic staff heavy at work. What would have been a year ago, shoveling off the snow from the bleachers on a Brandon high school that had really just been attacked by the winter elements and loaded with snow. You mentioned almost a foot of snow that they had to clear off the field, off the bleachers, to try to get it game ready for, you know, this is pre-COVID too, so a full load of fans to come in and be there for. And they did it, and that was when the Cardinals won it on November 15th and won their regional title, punched a ticket to the state semi, where we all remember how that one went against Stevenson.
I think that Eisenhower game was the one playoff game I wasn't quite able to make it out to. Wish I could have, though. It's fun to watch for sure.
A little over 10 minutes left in this ball game as the Cards will boot it back away. This one, a grounder that's fielded inside the 15, and a return being put on by Molesky. And he's hit across midfield. A great return that threatens in Cardinal territory. You saw the full head of speed that Molesky got and wasn't really met until about the 45-50 yard line before he was finally upended in Davison's zone.
Yeah, and even then he still was able to get a couple extra yards. Placed right around the 53.
So a couple of favorable starting positions for the Bobcats in the last couple drives. The last time it was Underwood that was able to find the end zone on a long run, refused to go down as Unger had him wrapped up. Here's 1st and 10. Give up the middle is to Jackson, little stutter step, tries to cut back as he had really nothing going for him, but some savviness to save a loss on the play. 2nd down and 10 coming up.
Quick little shout out to Jesse Padgett. Says he just got back from Camp Humphreys in Korea, and that's really exciting to watch these Cards play some awesome football against an old rival.
And the Cardinals threatening to keep this 2020 season going. Brodebeck throws, almost tipped by Unger as he was untouched off the edge. Catch is made by Molesky as he weeded forward for about 4 yards.
Yeah,
3rd down and about 6 coming up, Mason.
Good play by the defense. They're able to wrap him up just right around the far sideline. Unger almost had that block. Really just been doing a lot of work there, up getting all in Brodebeck's face, making his job harder than it. He really has had it this season since probably the last time they played Davison.
This is Jackson still on his feet, nothing. Dropped at the line of scrimmage, and a 4th down coming up as Warren's good night continues. He's limping into the sideline, but made a big play. Little update on a D1 contest going on. Granville scored first over Rockford, 21-14 in overtime. Rockford a chance to try to answer and to keep their, not only that ball game, but to keep their season alive.
Should be a real nail biter.
That's the only update that we've got.
Got another quick shout out, Thomas Gardy, class of 08.
Thomas Gardy, yep.
And 14 watching from Fort Wayne, Indiana.
Love it. Thanks, Thomas. 4th and 5, thrown incomplete as Brodebeck couldn't get there, but a flag comes in at about the 45-yard line.
Yeah, I mean, they just got to be happy you didn't fumble. You're getting wrapped up by all these Davison defenders.
Oh, it was intentional grounding.
Yeah.
I thought they got the Cardinals. I was wondering why Brodebeck and the Bobcats were headed off, but that makes a lot more
Yeah,
sense.
I figured it was because he just kind of
He did just ground it. So that will turn it over on downs as the Bobcats went for it, 4th and 5. You really have to.
Yeah.
We'll turn over on downs. Cards will have it now well in their own zone.
Clock stopped right around 7:37. So it's just under halfway into this 4th quarter of Cardinal football.
Yeah, just outside of the 40 at the 41, where we will see some new faces on this Cardinal offense. Backup quarterback Ray Sturgill now in.
Bobcat territory, ball will be placed on the 41. 1st and 10 Cardinal.
You'd love to see in a district championship game that you can get your reserves in to try to make an impact. Clifton Orcutt coming in as well. So 1st and 10 for the Cards, 7:37 to play. Sturgill will take it and give it to Cliff. Tackled right at about the 40-yard line. Everybody rolling off the pile. 2nd down coming up. We've seen Davison, Mason get guys in this situation, a late game situation, almost every game this season. I mean, really, maybe if there was an exception, it'd be Grand Blanc, but they found themselves in situations where they could get these guys. It's almost a regularity where these guys get in the 4th quarter.
Yeah, I mean, and you have Clifton Orcutt too, alongside Brett and Lum, 2 very promising running backs coming up, rising up through the ranks on the Davison roster.
2nd down and 9 with less than 7 minutes to play in this district championship game. It's Orcutt up the middle, fighting for the 45, but he's going to be shy. And so a short gain will make it 3rd down and long. We'll see if Sturgill will be let loose to throw the football here. Not likely. You might just keep this on the ground. We'll see what happens.
Just keep the clock moving down.
Cardinal fans have relatively stayed as they want to see their Cards hoist the district trophy here tonight. 3rd down and 7 as Sturgill has options out, split wide to his left and right. 2 are staggered in the backfield with him. Takes the snap. He'll keep it, but he's going to be wrapped and dropped in the backfield as Christian McElwee, the senior, got there.
Yes, solid read there by the defender. Sturgill still able to get a couple yards off of that one.
That might have been Jalen Johnson as well.
Back there. Chris is going to take over.
No, I thought that was McElwee. It was 17. Got in there to make the play. So 4th down and 7 with 5:35 to play in this contest. And Sullivan in there with Weingarts to get a word in with Sturgill before the junior quarterback trots out there to convert on 4th down. So here's 4th down and 7. A give and nothing. Boy, as Orcutt was dropped on that 4th down attempt, so he'll turn it over. And that clock will run now inside 5 minutes to play. And the Cards will turn it over in Bobcat territory where Grand Blanc will have it 1st down and 10. Really love what you've seen tonight from the Cards. Mason had mentioned it after one quarter of play, Bobcats led it 6-0. But you just felt like the Cardinals continued to trust each other, trust their coaching staff, trust the plan, and they made it happen. Not only with 13 unanswered in the second quarter, but how about 28 to the tune of 28 points in the third quarter. And that is what has been the difference here so far. Bobcats were able to get one in the third as well. Here's 1st and 10 for Brodebek. He'll sling it. Catch is made by Molesky, and he's finally dragged down near the 50. As for the Bobcats, you keep your seniors out, or if they're not out, you put them in. Less than 4 minutes to be played. Just what's felt like a disappointing end to what was a really exciting stretch for Bobcat football. 2nd down and 4, and it's Jackson in motion. But the play will be blown dead as there is a new quarterback in there, and Hunter Ames, the junior. But the penalty marker will stop the play.
Flag on the field goes against the Bobcats.
Someone up front moved quick, and so that will go in the opposite direction.
Ball will be placed on the Bobcat 45.
See if we can get updates on that Rockford contest. That was in overtime last time we checked. Headed to double overtime between Rockford and Granville at 21-all. Another Division I contest. Romeo topped Stony Creek 45-27. That's a big win for Romeo, as that will be blown incomplete. Romeo has had a really impressive go here in the postseason. Last week, they topped Macomb Dakota 15-14. Romeo just 36 points coming into the postseason. Macomb Dakota had 67 as the 2 seed. And that was a 6/2 seed stunner that Romeo was able to pull off. And now they're topping the 1 seed tonight, and they topped the 1 seed tonight 45-27. And the Bulldogs, well, it looks like a magical run so far, continues. The 6 seed topping the 2 seed, topping the 1 seed. Ames stepping up. Wow, he's got some speed as he's hit right at the line to gain, but might have gotten the line to gain. He did.
In the backfield for
and he really moved quick.
14, Hunter Ames.
So Romeo now going to take the winner of Sterling Heights Stevenson or West Bloomfield, and those are 2 Titans waiting for the Bulldogs on the other end. A chance to reach the state semi, as we've got the regional championship waiting for us next week. And this time it's Pittman that's able to keep the feet moving. Flag dropped at the 30 before Pittman is forced out of bounds by Pizzala. Clock continues to run, but let's see what the penalty marker brings us.
And there is a flag on the field. Somebody gets stupid.
His blocking the back.
And so that's going to move the Bobcats backwards after the penalty. Still trying to find an update. Would love to know the update on the Kersley contest. Hornets with 5 total playoff wins in their school's history. 3 of them have come in the recent 2 seasons. Ames with space, he'll step up and fire. Thrown, dropped, incomplete. That was intended for Molesky, but closed on quickly, and he couldn't haul it in. And so 2nd down coming up as the clock will continue to melt. And a timeout going to be taken down on the field.
Davison player hurt.
Looks like it's Papadakis that is the one that was down and now is up. So officials had stop play quickly, but Papadakis slowly coming off the field, kind of keeled over a little bit, but good to see him hustling. Clock is stopped at 1:28. offense has been a huge offense, and then, I mean, defense, both ends of the football for the Cards has been a key to this rivalry in the last stretch of years. As Ames steps up 2nd and 7, he'll throw. It's caught just shy of the 30. Bobcats will convert. Another penalty marker drops. This rivalry took a back seat from about 2012 to 2015. They didn't play, but it picked back up in 2016, and that's where the Cards have had their recent stretch. 48-12 in the pre-district in 16. Didn't meet in 17, and then in 18. 49-7 last season, 41-0 at halftime. This year, 46-21, and now 48-12. Cards have eclipsed that 40-point mark in all those contests in 16. That's the recent trend. But on the other end of the football, it's been limiting the Bobcats in the point department. Clock will run now inside a minute to be played. Ames looking with space, should say. Trouble in the pocket. He'll step up and surges forward to the 15. Clock will continue to run. Cardinals in the final minute. This is the final game being played on grass at Cardinal Stadium, as we had mentioned earlier tonight. It's been a grass surface ever since the stadium was built back in 2005. Ames looking, steps up, lot of room. Splitting 2 defenders, he's tackled at the 6. Clock continues to run, but the official is trying to stop the clock as Grand Blanc wants to call a timeout. Flirting with the end zone in the final seconds of this ball game. Lots happened since the stadium was built back in 2005. But next season in 2021, if things all go according to plan, Cardinals will be playing on a turf field. It's another look at the bracket that we were talking about earlier, as the Cards going to take on the winner of the Lakeland Eagles and the Shamrocks of Catholic Central. That contest taking place, kicking off tomorrow at 1, so keep an eye out for that, as likely the Cardinal coaching staff and players will be doing the same as the Bobcats upend what was a red-hot Grand Blanc team coming into tonight, who had some really impressive resume builders deep in the regular season, and then the last time out topping Clarkston by an impressive amount. Cardinals going to be crowned district champs tonight for the 2nd straight season. Back-to-back district champs for the Davison Cardinals, and in both those games coming against an SVL red opponent. Last year against Lapeer. Ames keeps it. Trouble, and he's going to be dropped. And another timeout taken by Grand Blanc. They are destined on the end zone with 13 seconds left. But more on that bracket. Cards will take on the winner of that game in the regional final next week. And then the winner of that one will head to the state semifinal matchup, where they'll take either the Rockford Rams, Granville, Saline, or Holt. And then a win, if Davison can make that happen, would be the road to Ford Field. Final 13 seconds. Grand Blanc here trying to see if they can get into the end zone. The Card defense seeing if they can come up with one more stop. Quick throw and a loft to the end zone, and a touchdown. And so the Bobcats able to put it in the end zone in the final seconds of the 4th quarter. Catch is made by Nathan Lynch, the senior. And with 8 seconds left, Bobcats will look to attempt the extra point and see if they can convert. District trophy will be awarded to the Cards here shortly after the game comes to a close. It would likely be after the kick. High snap, kick is off and away, and it is good. Want to give a special shout out to our DTV crew that this is likely the last broadcast of the season, for sure the last broadcast at Cardinal Stadium. And the production that the DTV crew under Randy Scott, Amy Lesko, that have put on this year has been incredibly impressive. A good shot of our crew. The control room, rock steady as always. And it's been certainly a special season, another special season of Cardinal football that DTV's been more than happy to be able to bring to you, Cardinal fans. And you've been a big helper in that, and tuning in every single week and catching Cardinal football and making sure you don't miss any of the action of what's been another awesome season of Davison football. The stadium's going to look different next year. Bright things to come. Short little kick, going to be fielded by the Cards. Six seconds left, and the Cards going to send their offense out onto the field for one final play to kill off this clock. Weingardt's calling his offense in at the 40-yard line. And the senior, Brendan Sullivan, going to trot out with the rest of the Cardinal ones. Best formation you can be in. The senior ices it, and the final seconds melt away. The Davison Cardinals are back-to-back district champs. 48-19 the final over the Bobcats of Grand Blanc, and the Cards stay perfect in 2020 with an impressive win here at home. One final time on a grass surface at Cardinal Stadium. Cards going to meet up really quick before the district championship trophy presentation will be awarded to Jake Weingarts and the Davison Cards. One end of the field, elation. Your season continues and you get to hoist a district championship trophy. Another end of the field, it all comes to a close tonight.
He's going out the middle of the field right now. He's right in the 50. He's pointing at him.
Cards lining up at their 40-yard line as we await the trophy presentation from Davison Athletic Director Dave Beamer. Two districts for Jake Weingarts in his 3 seasons, and 2020 is not done yet for the Davison Cardinals. Raise it up, Cards. You're back-to-back district champs. And this year, the opportunity to celebrate a district championship on your home field. 48-19, that final score, as the Cards are going to be enjoying this one next week and this week, but back to the grindstone on Monday as this season will continue to go on. We've said our thanks to our DTV crew. Want to continue to do the same here as we wind down our broadcast on this Friday night, November 13th, 2020, as the Cardinals staple themselves as back-to-back district champs. For Mason Polmantier, my color man, and all of us a part of the DTV crew, Chris Jarrett signing off from Davison, Michigan, as the Cardinals' final score one last time, 48-19 over the Grand Blanc Bobcats in this district championship. They are moving on to the regional final and will take on the winner of Lakeland and Detroit Catholic Central. Whoever they take will be the first matchup between either of those two schools that will be taking place next week. So signing off from Cardinal Stadium one last time, that final score 48-19. Cardinal fans, thank you for your attended coverage all season long. And as always, go Cards.